Today we're going to make something I love. We're going to make homemade sausage gravy and biscuits. Next week's video is going to be similar, but I'll talk more about that later. So the one thing you're going to need some Jimmy Dean sausage. I use the hot. It's not hot, but it is a little more flavorful. It works the best. You're going to need some flour. You're going to need some pepper and some salt. And for my secret ingredient on this, I use Worcestershire sauce or whatever you want to call it. I am going to make this recipe and tell you all the ingredients for a pound of sausage. In this video, I'm only going to use half of the sausage because I'm going to use the other half for next week's recipe. So don't go by what I put in, go by what I tell you. So you're going to need about a quarter to a third a cup of the flour. And you will also need some milk. You'll need about 3 cups of milk. You're going to use about a teaspoon of the salt and about a tablespoon of the pepper. So first thing you want to do is you want to fry up your Jimmy Dean sausage. If you can't get Jimmy Dean, you can use whatever you can find. I just like the hot sausage. Again, not because it's hot, but because it's a little more flavorful. So once it's cooked thoroughly, don't drain it. You want the fat that's in there. Again, I'm going to take about half of this for next week's recipe, the video I'm going to make after this one. And I'll kind of give you a hint about that recipe at the end of this one. So if you like your sausage gravy a little more firm, you can use a little more flour and a little less milk, which is the way I kind of made this one. If you like it a little more soupy like some people do, a little less flour, a little more milk. So when you pour the flour in, you want to keep frying it until it's incorporated into the sausage. Don't overcook it. You can actually burn the flour and then it tastes really weird. So once you see it kind of disappear in the flour, then you're done with that part. You see just little pieces of white there, so I'm still going. So now if you'd be using a whole pound of sausage, you would use about 3 cups of the milk. I suggest putting about 2 cups in first if you're doing it for the first time, because you can always add more. But here I'm using a cup and a half because I'm only going to use half the sausage. So you want to bring it to a good heavy roll and boil. Then you want to turn it down so it can simmer, about a number 2 on my stove. Just keep stirring it so it thickens up. I decided mine was a little thin, so I just put a little more milk in it. Again, you can always add some more milk. If it gets too thin, you can always add just a little more flour into it. You're basically making a roux. It's really easy. But again, don't burn the flour when you're cooking it with the sausage. About a teaspoon of salt. I like salt a lot, but you don't want to salt this too much because the meat is already salted. And then you want a good tablespoon of pepper. You want plenty of pepper. You can't do too much on that. And my secret ingredient is just a little splash of Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire. And you see it's thickening up even though I put in a little extra milk. I did put in kind of a lot of flour. You can adjust this to your liking. Turned it down and took it off the heat. And it's basically ready to put on a couple of biscuits. I didn't show me cooking biscuits. They're just the poppin' fresh biscuits. I didn't think y'all needed me to show you that one. It is really good and tasty. So this week, I made sausage gravy and biscuits. Next week, I'm going to simplify it. So there'll be more to come on that for next week's show. And now for the rating system. We have 4 categories, 1 being a lazy chef, 5 being a full home chef, for a total of up to 20 points. For the prep time, it's a 2X. Again, not too tough. Number of ingredients, I'm going to call it a 2X. Unique ingredients, it's a 1X. You might have all this stuff in your cabinet except for maybe the sausage. Unique equipment is definitely a 1X. Nothing special here. For a total of 6X, this is great for breakfast. If you could, I'd appreciate a like and subscribe. Make sure to click the bell so you get notified every Thursday at noon when we have a new recipe come out. Let me know if you try it. Thanks.